At the heart of every great story, every movie, every book, every play that has you glued to your seat, there's one key ingredient: conflict. But what if I told you that all that drama, all that tension, really just boils down to six basic types? Well, today we're going to unpack a pretty incredible document that lays it all out. And trust me, it comes from a place you'd never expect. So take a look at this. This is a direct quote from the document we're exploring. Students will listen and sing to Jamaican dancehall music about guns and war. Kind of makes you stop and think, right? What sort of class do you imagine starts off like this? Maybe a university course on music history? Nope. You are looking at the engagement activity for an 8th grade drama class in Jamaica. That's right. This whole lesson was designed for 13 and 14-year-olds, using their local music to kick off a really deep dive into the nature of conflict itself. Pretty amazing. So for the next few minutes, let's just do that. Let's follow this lesson plan. We're going to become the students in this class, and we're going to use this framework to really understand one of the most fundamental ideas in all of storytelling. And here's our mission, pulled straight from the lesson plan itself: to understand the 6 types of conflict that are the engine behind basically every story ever told. So you ready? Let's get started. All right, so the lesson breaks it all down into 6 core types of conflict. These are the fundamental forces that really shape a narrative. Let's jump into the first one. First up, we've got man versus self. Now, this is the only one that's purely internal. This is the battle happening inside a character's own head. They're wrestling with their conscience, their fears, a tough decision. Think of a character just staring in the mirror, asking, "What am I doing?" That's a classic man versus self struggle. Next, you've got the one we all know: man versus man. This is your classic hero versus villain, your protagonist versus your antagonist. It's the most straightforward kind of conflict there is, just a direct struggle between two people. Then there's man versus nature. In these stories, the opponent isn't another person, it's the world itself. It could be a massive storm, a wild animal, or just a brutal, unforgiving landscape. The whole game is just about survival against this huge, impersonal force. Okay, now we've got man versus society. This is the individual against the system. The lone person fighting against the rules, the traditions, or maybe even the government they live under. This is all about pushing back, fighting for change, or just trying to be yourself in a world that doesn't get it. And here's a more modern one, but a really powerful one: man versus technology. You see this all the time in science fiction, right? It's the story of humanity having to fight back against our own creations, like a rogue AI or robots that have just gotten way too smart for our own good. And last but not least, man versus supernatural. This is where our heroes are up against things that science just can't explain. We're talking ghosts, gods, demons, fate itself. It's a struggle against the great unknown. So here's where it all clicks into place. All 6 of those conflicts we just talked about, they actually fit neatly into 2 simple categories. Man versus self is the only one that's internal. It's all happening inside a character's mind. The other 5, they're all external, pitting our hero against something or someone out there in the world. Okay, so it's one thing to know the definitions, right? But it's another thing entirely to get students to actually see these ideas in action. And this is where this lesson plan gets really, really creative. So how would you do it? I mean, really, how do you take these big, abstract ideas and make them feel real and hands-on for a bunch of 8th graders? Well, here's how they do it. This is where theory becomes practice. First, the students analyze stories that already exist, watching movie clips to spot the different types of conflict. Then, they create something new. They take that dancehall music from the beginning and write new songs about handling conflict peacefully. And finally, they embody it, acting out their own improvised scenes. It's such a brilliant, hands-on way to learn. And get this isn't just an arts class. The lesson plan makes it really clear that it integrates STEAM principles. They're using science to analyze videos, technology to access YouTube, art to perform, even math for time management. It's a totally modern, holistic way of teaching. But the true power of this lesson, the real reason we're talking about it, goes way beyond the classroom. There is a much, much deeper purpose at work here. Let's look at those objectives again. Sure, the first 2 are about listing and explaining the types of conflict in stories, but look at that third one. Discuss how, as a people, we can deal with conflict. And just like that, the whole lesson pivots from analyzing fictional drama to talking about real-world solutions. And this is the most profound part of all. The lesson plan literally states that that objective, talking about how to deal with conflict, directly supports a Jamaican national goal to create a society that is secure, cohesive, and just. This isn't just about teaching drama anymore. It's about teaching citizenship. It's using the tools of storytelling to build a better community. And that's really the big idea, isn't it? That's the ultimate takeaway. The whole reason for this lesson is the belief that by learning to see, understand, and creatively solve conflict in stories, we can get better at navigating conflict in our own lives and in our society. So it leaves us with this one final, powerful question to think about. If we can master the language of drama, if we can truly understand what drives characters in fiction, could we maybe learn to write a better story for ourselves in the real world? It's a thought that's definitely worth holding on to.